Hi there, my name is Matt and I'm here to share my knowledge with you. My knowledge about entrepreneurship, about failures, about successes, about the daily life of an entrepreneur. But we're not gonna talk about theory, but we're gonna talk about practice, about the things that you can do, that you can implement in your life and that you can achieve. That's why I bought this car. Maybe you will not believe it or not, but I bought this Rolls Royce only to attract you, only to use it in this program. I'm not gonna even use it on a daily basis because I know that we'll live in the era of social media. I'm aware of the fact that right now, nowadays, even the best products will not defend themselves. It's not enough. Even the best content will not defend itself. You always have to do something to attract it, to present it in the best way. That's why I bought this car, because thanks to it, it's gonna help me, or thanks to it, I'm gonna be, this program will be available to you. This program will be existing, and that way I will be able to help you. So today I'm gonna help you with productivity, because that's one of my main life topics. That's the thing that I'm pretty interested in, especially in business, because productivity is the thing that makes us 2, 3 or 5 times more efficient. And that's a pretty big claim, but I'm gonna go for it, and I'm gonna give you today a couple of apps that will help you with your productivity. First thing about productivity is that productivity is not only about using tools, it's also about eliminating some tools, because you're using some tools already that are not helpful. For example, if you have Facebook app, Messenger app, WhatsApp, well, with WhatsApp it's pretty more complicated, but we're gonna get back to it later. But if you have such apps, Instagram, those are tools that can help you with business, that can help you grow your community, that can help you promote your products. But 99% of the people in the world waste their time there, because they believe that they will be more fancy with those apps, etc. So the first solution is eliminate those apps from your mobile. If you're not earning money with Facebook app, if you're not earning money with TikTok app, if you're not earning money with Instagram app, then just cut them off, eliminate them, destroy them forever, and see if you're gonna really lose everything in your life as they claim it to be. Like, you cannot live without Facebook, because it's impossible. You will lose all your friends, you will lose all your commodities, you will lose everything. Well, let's try, especially that deleting these apps is reversible. So if you really see some problems within 7 days, that, oh shit, my life is ruined right now, then you can just install them again. So the risk is zero. Although in practice, when you start checking it up, you will see that it's problematic for our mind. That when you try to deinstall it, then your mind says, oh no, maybe let's not do it. It's so complex. Well, I've got all of my friends there. So it's tough, but only mentally. But when we agree on the fact that you can always reinstall it later, then you have nothing to lose, but a lot of things to gain. I personally don't use Facebook app, Messenger app, WhatsApp app, TikTok app, although I'm present with all of my companies. I'm present on Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok, on YouTube, and YouTube is the only one that I have on my mobile. Why do I have it? Because I use it to gain knowledge on a daily basis. I learn languages, I learn about entrepreneurship, I learn about business, about all the things that are important to me, and to do it efficiently, YouTube is a great help. YouTube, podcast app, those are the things that help me. Facebook never helped me. I've got people who work on Facebook to promote our products, and that is production instead of consumption. That's why I don't see any single reason to use social media to consume. There are so many good things to consume. There are cars, travels, friends, real friends. I don't mean Facebook friends, but real friends, real living entities that you can encounter in the streets. Those things or people are so great to consume. By consume, I mean to meet them, to take to have great time with them, etc. Consuming social media is pretty close to consuming shit. Yeah, like I'm gonna waste. We shouldn't even use the word pass. I'm gonna waste my time there. I'm gonna check what's new. I'm gonna check some potatoes of my friends to know if their diet is pretty perfect or not. Why? There are so many more interesting things in lives, but we are addicted. And this addiction, when you start eliminating it, you can do it step by step. Yeah, like today I'm gonna eliminate Facebook and see if it's gonna be apocalypse. And after 7 days you can eliminate also Messenger app and then something else. And doing it step by step will show you that is really possible. That's gonna be the first thing. And the second thing is that it was harder in our mind than in reality, which proves that it was an addiction. That's why eliminating those things is the first thing about productivity apps. It's not about adding apps, but it's about cutting off apps. It's about eliminating, destroying the apps from your mobile, because then you don't have many things to do. When I take my mobile, I don't have the possibility to scroll Facebook wall. I don't have the possibility to check on my Instagram friends and to see what's going on in their lives. I only have a couple of possibilities. For example, I have the possibility to get into YouTube, and I have a couple of channels subscribed which are interesting to me, which are full of value, of knowledge, which is gonna help me in my life. So that's my first option. The second option is, for example, an app too. I've got 2 or 3 apps to learn languages, because I'm the great fan of learning languages. That's why I can talk to you in English right now, which is not my native language, which you probably hear, but I'm not gonna be worried about it, because my will to help you with entrepreneurship is pretty more important. So I can learn and practice languages because I don't have any Facebook to scroll and to waste my time with. And I can also, for example, open my podcast app to learn, to learn things about business, about languages, about other things which are so popular on podcasts, on Spotify, etc. So what else can I do? Not many things. I've got 1 app to meditate, and that's pretty all. Yeah, that's my only screen. So not many things. I can only waste time in my browser, where I can of course I can do some not important shit, but generally I don't like wasting time there. So before I give you some apps, I will advise you to check how your life would be without certain apps. So that's first thing. The second thing is something that makes me even more crazy than only the guy who bought Rolls Royce to promote himself on YouTube. Yeah, that's crazy, but there's something more, even craziest, which is that for last 5 or 6 years I haven't been using my phone to call. I don't call people, I don't receive calls. If you want to contact me and you're gonna call me, then it's not gonna help. I'm even so automatic with that if I sit down here right now and I see that someone is calling me, I will not even have a thought that I can receive this call. I will just see that someone is calling and that's it. Yeah, someone is calling me, but I don't have even an impulse to take up the phone. So That's strange. That's strange, and it's even stranger for the people who work with me, for my teams in my companies, but I guess they got used to it, and even with time they know that it helps us all, because calling means that you have to pick the number, take the phone, pick the number, wait for the connection, they don't respond, so you wait. In 2 minutes you are doing something else and they are calling you back, so you pause your job, your work right now, in order to pick up the phone and to talk to them. So it's stupid. Well, I always saw that it was stupid, but with time I finally decided to do something about it, and I did it. I made a test. What would happen if I don't pick up the phone for first couple of days, then couple of weeks, then couple of months? Of course, not ignoring the phones and not doing anything about it. Like, they should know that right now I'm not picking up the phone, but rather informing all the people who call me, who like to be in touch with me, that I'm not gonna answer the phones. So let's switch to WhatsApp. Well, in the past it was WhatsApp, right now it's Signal because of the privacy matters. So right now I'm available on Signal. So right now, if you call me, I'm not gonna answer, but I will text you that you can always reach me on Signal. And if you have it, then we can be in touch on Signal to record some short audios and to be in touch. And it's so really freaking quick that calling people seems pointless, completely pointless, because on Signal, let's see, for example, let's imagine the case that I have to outsource something to my workers. For example, I'm the owner of the Institute of Linguistics, where we teach languages. And for example, let's say that I'm in the toilet and I've got an idea, like we should create the course of Korean, because we don't have such the course. So let's create such the workshop. And then I only have to pick up the phone, 1 second, open Signal, 1 click, and then tell to appropriate person, let's create Korean course. Because of the fact that we've created a couple of other courses, we've got procedures, we've got all the steps necessary to be done in order to create the course. So probably at this very moment my job is done. So it's even quicker than waiting for someone to answer the phone. You get it? So it's really, really quick. And well, they say that if you're deeply immersed in some task, you've got this full focus, and then someone interrupts you by calling you, by telling you a joke if you work in an open space, then you could lose your full focus even for 45 minutes. It's a load of time, 45 minutes. Sometimes it's gonna be 20, sometimes it's gonna be 10, but you lose your full focus. And it always happens with people who use their phones to answer them, who have the sound on in their phone, because that's the other thing. So I don't use it. I don't have sound in my phone. It's impossible for me to know that someone would call me, and it's even impossible to know for me that someone sent me something on Signal. Well, then after this recording, for example, I'm gonna open Signal and answer all the stuff, and it's always gonna be in the perfect time, because I open this app only when I have time. That's pretty obvious, yeah? And also, we've got a great deal with all of my workers and co-workers that you shouldn't have sound in your Signal app, which means that anyone can send a message anytime. So they can text me on Signal or record some audio and send it to me on Sunday night, 2 a.m. and they can attack me on Signal because I don't have sound. So there's no risk that they are gonna wake up my kids and I'm gonna be furious about it, we can inform everyone about everything at any time. That's pretty perfect. And of course also there's a deal that they don't have to answer me on Signal as fast as possible. Yeah, so during the weekends or during the weekdays, but later, for example at 8 p.m. they don't have to answer me, but I can record, because if I have a great idea, or at least I think it's a great idea, I can record it right away, because I want to act quickly and I don't want to put this idea somewhere to my notepad and wait for months in order to get back to it. I'm gonna be quick. And then the very next day when they get into our office, then they open Signal and they answer. So with Signal and in the past with WhatsApp, because they work pretty the same. Well, Signal is a bit poorer in functions, in features, but still it's a very great option and better for privacy. And unrelated with Facebook, which for me personally is pretty an important thing. But with Signal, I've got more or less 100 of groups there for all the projects and sub-projects. Thanks to that, I don't have to use 7 notepads, Trellos, Asanas, Slacks, Microsoft Teams, etc. Because Signal is almost the only way to work with all of my companies. I also use other thing, one which is called Apple Notes, but later I'm gonna get back to it. So Signal is a very great app, and try to use Signal with all of your business partners, friends, etc. Instead of calling. Well, calling only makes sense if you call someone just to talk. Yeah, like you live in one country or one city and your family is far away, so you call them to talk about nothing. That's a pretty good idea if you like it. But calling in your company, in your work, doesn't make really sense. You can tell me, okay, but I'm answering my clients' phones, my clients' calls. Okay, but it's impossible to ignore them, yeah, because if your clients call you, then someone has to pick up the phone. But in the long run, it has to be someone else than you. So if you're a call center's worker, then I guess that you cannot do anything about it. That's your reality. But if you're the company's owner and you pick up your clients' calls, then it means that something doesn't work here. You as the owner can't do such the things because you don't have time to do such the things. You have to create the strategy for your company. You have to create the plans to organize everything, to create procedures, to hire people, to organize the work for everyone. You don't have time to talk to your clients like that. So maybe today it's impossible to outsource it because, for example, you're a beginning entrepreneur, so you don't have money to do it. But in the long run, you should outsource all the calls which have to be done. So in my companies, of course, it's possible to use your phone to connect, to call us. But you're never gonna call me, and neither will my workers, because it's just impossible. So Signal or WhatsApp if you don't care about the privacy. Another thing, DoOneThing. This is the app for MacBook, and for Windows stuff you've got FocusBooster. So this is DoOneThing is a pretty simple app which is only to put the name of the task in front of you. So when you open your computer, you put the name of the task, like for example, prepare the recording for YouTube. And I put it there, and then nothing happens. Really, it's just like that. It's only to have this inscription there in front of my face when I'm using my computer. So I've got this inscription, prepare the recording, and that's it. That's the only feature of this app. But it's perfect because we especially nowadays when we have so many reasons to switch our tasks, to move our attention from one point to another, then such kind of an app that shows us what we're really doing right now is of great value. So DoOneThing or FocusBooster if you don't have Mac. Another thing, Pomodoro Timer. Pomodoro Timer, or in my case personally it's BeFocused. A perfect app to work with Pomodoro style. If you don't know the Pomodoro technique, it's pretty easy because it breaks your work into 25 minutes chunks, and then you've got 5 minutes of pause. This way you're never gonna be too tired to continue, because from time to time we've got this tendency to work too much. Yeah, like I start at, for example, 9, and then for 2 hours I'm in front of my computer just doing stuff, and well, I feel pretty productive, but I don't see the byproduct of it, like the side effect. Like after 2 hours I'm pretty drowned out of energy. I don't have the possibility to be effective, to be efficient, so it doesn't work. That's why it's good to do pauses, and Pomodoro technique is the perfect method to do it. It's scientifically proven that it works. So Pomodoro Timer or BeFocused app are helpful to give you the counter from 25 minutes to 0, then 5 minutes of pause, and then doing another stuff, or continuing the same if it's something longer. So I use those two apps, BeFocused and DoOneThing. So I've got those two things one next to another. Here I've got the name of the task that I'm doing. This is my one thing that I'm doing right now, and next to it my Pomodoro timer, my 25 minutes chunk. So I deeply advise you to practice with those kind of app. If you're using MacBook or iMac, try Spotlight. Well, maybe I'm an idiot, probably I am, but for 5 years of using MacBook, I have never tried Spotlight, although it's internal and integral part of the software there. But one day my friend told me, try Spotlight, it's genius. Okay, so I've tested it. You put command and space, and then you start typing the very first letters of some app or some file that you're searching for. So if you're using Microsoft, if you want to use Microsoft Word, then you type command and space, and then Word, and Spotlight fulfills the rest of the word and the rest of the word and opens Microsoft Word for you. You're searching for some old agreement, so you use Spotlight, you put command and space, and then you start typing agree, and then Spotlight fulfills the rest and finds your file. Super easy, super quick, and I don't know how could I avoid it. I just didn't notice, but well, so it's worth doing it. The very next app that I want to share you is NordVPN or any other VPN. I personally use NordVPN, but you can tell me, Matt, this is the episode about productivity apps. VPN stands for Virtual Private Network. It's about privacy. It's completely different topic. Well, maybe, but not entirely, because, you know, when I open YouTube using VPN, and for example, I'm pretending that I'm in Croatia or Albania, then all the ads, all the recommended channels, or when I use my desktop, then all the things in Facebook and Instagram, all are in Albanian. Get it? So it's impossible for me to open those videos because I wouldn't understand a word. It's impossible to me to follow the publicity and to follow the ad to buy some product, because they will send these products from Albania. So it's nothing for me. So I installed the VPN service in the beginning only for privacy matters, but with time I saw the great advantage of using it also as a productivity tool, because all the time they recommend to you some things related to the country that you know nothing about, and that's perfect. Those are not ads that fit your life, your style, and what you would be probable to buy, but those are just bullshits. Yeah, so you have to ignore them. So you open YouTube in order to get to some channel, particular specific channel, and normally if you don't use VPN, you see the wall of the YouTube wall and plenty of recommendations of shocking video of cats having fun. And in my case, you put VPN for Romania, and then you see the recommendations of Romanian guys talking about Romanian stuff. So it's impossible for me to open it because it's so irrelevant. That's why VPN is a great service, not only for privacy but also for productivity. That's why I recommend personally NordVPN, but there are plenty of others. So the only disclaimer is that if you plan to use VPN also for privacy matters, then avoid free options, because free VPNs are not as good about privacy, and there are pretty a good amount of scandals related to this thing. So if you take care of your privacy, then invest in paid VPN like NordVPN. But if it's only about productivity, then any free option would be good. Another app which works for MacBooks is Cheatsheet. I only have to take care when I pronounce such the words in English. Cheat, not shit. Cheat sheet. Okay, so you've got some keyboard shortcut. When you have this app, you use it, you click it, like for example command. You put command, you hold command, and then you see all the shortcuts for this particular app that you're using right now. So for example, you're working with Microsoft Word, and then you open Cheatsheet by just holding one key, and you see all the possibility of shortcuts that you can use in this app in Microsoft Word. Then you use PowerPoint, for example. You hold the key for opening Cheatsheet, and then you've got all the possibilities of shortcuts to use in PowerPoint. Pretty easy, pretty quick, and pretty nice. Another app is Vlc Player. It's pretty good idea to install it on your mobile as well as on your desktop, because this player is a media player as any other there, but with a feature that is pretty important, which makes it possible, because this app makes it possible to you to accelerate all the recordings to the speed that is as you wish, really. So for example, if I have to give feedback to my workers, they are preparing some videos for my Institute of Linguistics, they are preparing some videos about German language, for example, or Spanish, and they send me 8 minutes video via Signal. I receive this video, and normally without VLC I would just open the video and watch it for 8 minutes. Then I would record some feedback, I will tell them what to change, what is perfect, what is great, and that's it. But I send this file from Signal to VLC, and then depending on the language they speak, on the thing, the matter, the seriousness of the matter, I accelerate it. I make it double or even triple. From time to time, you speak to the people who are so slow when they are speaking that you can send their 4 minutes audio to VLC Player and listen to it with triple speed. So VLC, a perfect solution when you receive a lot of files, a lot of videos or audios to check up, to listen to watch, and it helps. What's more? Well, the life is about habits. Also, the business is about habits. There are plenty of great apps to help you with habits. I personally, I've tried three. Well, I've tried dozens, but the three of them were the best. First was Strides. The only disadvantage of Strides is that it's paid, and it wasn't as cheap as you would expect. But it was pretty good. So Strides, coach me, and just habits with some raccoon in the icon. So something like this, but the name is habits, so you just have to search for it. Habits was the best because it was the most beautiful. It was whether free or almost free, like $2 or $3 to buy it, and it was forever, no monthly fee. So for me personally, habits has been the best, but Coach Me or Strides are pretty good options. And why it's important? Because life is about habits, so you have to, well, you don't have to do anything in your life, but it's worth to practice some sports, to be consequent in your work, to organize your job in the way that is the most efficient. So a lot of things to do, and in order to do it, you've got you can have a random efficiency, or you can help your efficiency by creating the habits. So there are plenty of resources about habits, but every single app to follow your habits makes it more conscious, which means that it makes it more effective, because only thinking about habits is making it more probable that you will follow the habits. It's like the psychologist proved that having the gun in your house makes you think about using the gun 4 times more frequently than if you didn't have it. So it's not a program about weapons, but it's a program about productivity, which means also habits. So thinking about habits, having the habit app on your desktop as well as on your mobile will make you think about your habits on a daily basis. So, and habits means productivity. Next, Brave browser. If you use standard browser, Microsoft Edge for example, or even Firefox, then you're attacked for by many ads, and of course you're also tracked all the time. You're tracked by Facebook's Pixel, which is everywhere on every single web page in the internet. So Facebook tracks you, Apple tracks you, Google tracks you, all those big tech companies track you. And why? Because then they will know how to sell you stuff. And it's not important if you really need the stuff or not, but you're gonna waste time in the long run. And also, if they know who you are, how you behave, they can take you, or they can hold you for more time there on their platforms. That's why it's so important to defend yourself in a conscious manner. One of those conscious methods is using Brave browser, which is an ad blocker. So you're gonna block all the ads. You're gonna also turn on some privacy options, so you're not gonna be tracked. You can of course agree on tracking on some particular website that you trust, but it's gonna be your conscious choice, which is much better than just agreeing by not knowing about it. So Brave browser for your desktop, and for your mobile, whether Brave browser or even better DuckDuckGo. With DuckDuckGo, your privacy is really respected. You also don't have to use Google search, because you can use DuckDuckGo search, which is a proxy to Google, but so it works pretty efficiently, but it doesn't save your searching history. You even have options which I use, which are pretty extreme, that for example, anytime when I don't use DuckDuckGo for 5 minutes, everything is erased. I mean all the search history, all the web pages that were open last time, so everything is erased. And I open DuckDuckGo as a pretty new app every single time. So DuckDuckGo on mobile plus browser, Brave browser on your desktop, and you will spare a lot of time not watching the shitty ads, not wasting time because they would just grasp you and hold on their platforms. And while they can't track you, you're much safer. So that's it. YouTube Premium. You've got to pay for the premium option, for the premium subscription on YouTube, but it's worth it for at least two reasons. One is that you can still watch or listen to YouTube with your screen turned off, which means that if you watch such a program like this, when my face is not important, especially that I'm pretty ugly, so it's not the main part of this program. That's why you can, with YouTube Premium, you can switch off, you can turn off the screen, and using your headsets, still headphone or earphones, you still can listen to the program. So it's impossible with normal YouTube app without paying. Well, that's how it works. And the second great advantage of YouTube Premium is avoiding the ads. There are plenty of ads on YouTube because YouTube has to generate money. So if they generate money from your subscription, they don't have to generate money for showing your ads. So that's a pretty good deal, and you're gonna spare a lot of time. It's even safer because if you drive the car, let's say, of course, everyone knows that texting while driving the car is dangerous, or especially watching something is dangerous. But we also know that a lot of people do this. So with YouTube Premium is much safer because you can turn off the screen, listen to such a program, and it's not gonna be interrupted every 7 minutes with ads, because with YouTube Premium you don't have any ads. So it's safer, it's more productive, more effective. It's just good, and it's pretty cheap because you pay a couple of bucks monthly, and you even have the possibility to add 4 members of your family or your friends to your family group. So it's very, very effective. The next thing is that if you work with using your computer, and right now pretty everyone does, then you're typing, or there are a couple of options when you're typing. You can type like this, and a lot of people are doing it this way, but you can type also like this, or even without watching. You can watch the screen and type. That's what I do that's what I've been doing for years, because I've practiced it. So it was a deliberate decision to practice it. So you've got to search for some web page which helps to do it. A couple of them are, for example, testfastfingers.com. Then you've got tests in various languages, so no matter if you're American, English or Albanian, you can switch it to your language and just type and practice. It's frustrating in the beginning if you're super slow and you've got to pass a lot of time there, but after, for example, 8 or 10 weeks, you're gonna be pretty quick, and after a couple of months you're gonna be super quick, and you even gonna forget about your past of typing slowly, and it's gonna spare you thousands of hours of your future life, really. So it's very efficient. 10fastfingers.com, but also typerx.com. TIPRX.com is the car race with typing. So your car is accelerated with the speed of your typing. So it's also kind of gamification which motivates you even more to practice on a daily basis. Typing.com. Typing.com is another one, pretty interesting, and also monkeytype.com. monkeytype.com. Those 4 resources will help you to master your typing in a couple of weeks. Pretty good idea to do it. Another app that I use is Apple Notes. It's so simple, so easy to use, so perfect, without many features, without many functions, but there is everything that I need for my company. So believe it or not, but managing a couple of companies, because I've got a couple of them in a couple of countries, I only use Signal and Apple Notes. Only those 2 apps. In Signal, I manage all the projects, sub-projects, all the stuff that are urgent or that are gonna be urgent in a couple of weeks. On Apple Notes, I put in there all the things that are, for example, procedures, checklists, important stuff, things that are happening again and again, like for example, checklists for my workers for every single day. So every Monday they are doing this, every Tuesday they are doing this, and it happens every single Tuesday. So they have checklists for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, etc. And we use Apple Notes for it. It's so easy. And I've tested a lot of apps for managing the company, for managing the projects. I've tested Asana, Trello, Slack, plenty of others, but nothing was even close to the efficiency that I have using Signal with Apple Notes. Of course, I know there's a problem. The problem is that Apple Notes work only on Apple device. So if you, and I also have this problem as I hire a lot of people, 2 dozens of them, so maybe it's not a lot, but some of them use Windows or Android phones, so they don't have Apple Notes. Then we start searching for other consensus, and from time to time with some of them we use Asana, but generally recently I've been testing NoteJoy app, which is a copy of Apple Notes but for all devices. So I can't really recommend it right now because I'm just testing, but in the past with such workers without Apple Notes, we've used Slack. We've used Slack and Trello. So those two apps, depending on time, because in the beginning we've been using Trello, then we switched to Slack. I would say they were equally efficient. So that's it. Just try your option. But generally speaking, for me, perfect option would be to use only Signal and Apple Notes. But if I have to, then recently I've added NoteJoy, but also in the past I've been using Trello or Slack or Asana. Well, you've got to test it, but you always have to have some checklist, and some task list. So Apple Notes is the very easiest option. What's more, a widget for your calendar, because I guess everyone who wants to be productive uses calendar. Whether it's digital calendar or paper one, it depends on a person. Well, I know a lot of people, and I see that it really depends on a particular person. For me, using a paper calendar would be kind of suicide. So I can't stand it. But I've got some friends, even some millionaires, who still use only paper calendar, and they are pretty efficient. I can't say that they are not efficient. If they are a millionaire. Yeah. So how to argue with that? That's why I know that it's kind of a choice, but something that I can recommend to everyone is calendar widget. So you use your phone 200 times per day, and you see various things there. For me, as I've told you before, I don't have any Facebook app and Instagram, but I have calendar widget. So I slide my phone and I see right now I'm seeing a Bitcoin price also, but there's my calendar widget. So it's very quick. I see all the stuff that have to be done tomorrow, all the whether appointments or things to organize that I have in my calendar. Normally, I would have to open deliberately my calendar to check out the things that are there. But right now, with the widget, which is available on every single phone, I see it right away, just watching. It's like having a watch. So you don't have to watch your watch on purpose, because you do it unconsciously so many times during the day that you're always aware of the time. And I'm always aware of my calendar using my phone, and by the way, seeing the widget with the tasks or appointments for tomorrow. That's it for today. I hope that those 13 more or less apps will help you with your productivity. I hope that it wasn't too boring, and I hope that you subscribe to this channel, and that we will see again. Below this video you've got a pretty nice bonus, so check it out and download it, and I hope to see you next time. Thanks, like it, comment it, and subscribe it, and see you next time. Bye.